Katie, Ben, that press release coming in just about 2 minutes ago, and no charges on any of the 3 officer-involved shootings in 2020. They have hand sanitizer out here, and face masks are required inside. If you follow me inside here, you can see they also have social distancing markers here on the floor. Blueprints options for a future park include a playground or a splash pad. Data on a different line, but the circled orange part that you see here is actually a typo that changes the whole picture. This is the neighborhood medical center's way of bringing the shot to people in the community where they are. We've talked a lot about youth crime in the community, and you've mentioned possibly partnering with the Tempo program. Tell us how that's going to work. More than 100 protesters marched from the Winn-Dixie parking lot here to Hudson Park. That number was almost matched by counter-protesters. The groups that are against the creation of the Children's Services Council say a pandemic is not the right time to levy a new property tax. We were waiting in the courthouse all day for a verdict, just learning it was happening when the defense team came rushing in around 4:40. People in this apartment complex are pretty shaken about this whole incident. You can see pieces of the window are shattered at my feet. Witnesses say this is a quiet neighborhood, and from the way that SUV sped into the parking lot last night, they knew something was wrong immediately. A chase, a hostage situation, and then a deadly shooting.
It's just crazy.
It's very much nerve-wracking.
During a traffic stop on Ocala Road, the driver of the car cooperating, but a passenger taking the wheel and taking off with a child in the back seat. Police say the suspect hit an officer when driving away. Residents at the Valencia Square apartment say they heard the car arrive around 11:30 and saw a young girl screaming.
I couldn't see the person who she was running from, but I knew it had to be somebody just because how she was screaming and like trying to run.
Maurice Kirksey and Jaquetta Byron say they saw police searching for the driver when a man ran out of a building saying there were hostages.
Like a minute or two after that, I heard a big crash, boom, following that 2 or 3 gunshots.
They live just 2 doors down.
After that, my girlfriend let's go check in the back. We can see through probably our back window. Come to find out, as soon as we come to the back window, we see everything, like the dude on the floor and everything.
TPD holding a press conference early Friday morning.
I will tell you, anytime we have a loss of life, it affects our entire community, both the community and the law enforcement community. It affects all of us.
The officer involved placed on administrative leave pending the standard investigation.
I think in this case, you will see when the evidence is made available that our officers did exactly as they were trained to do.
And police have not identified the person who was killed last night. That suspect did not have an ID on them, and their fingerprints did not show up in Florida's mobile ID system. Live in Tallahassee, Monica Casey, WCTV Eyewitness News. Believe it or not, I'm not standing at the entrance to the river. I'm standing on a street that leads into that neighborhood. Many of those homeowners have evacuated, but thanks to one man and his canoe, I got a closer look at the flooding that you see behind me.
We own the center of the road. There's a mailbox right there. So we own the center of the road.
Ricky Mosley ferrying residents along what should be his street.
Get a lot of debris floating down the rivers and stuff, and they'll end up lodging on your house or getting in the yard and stuff.
Are some of your neighbors still in their houses around
here?
Yes,
Thomas and Lisa, they're still in there next door. I think pretty much for the most part, most of them's gone. I took a couple of them so they can take some pictures of their house.
It's the 5th time he's evacuated. He says it usually takes about 2 days.
And we had about 6-7 hours before it was about 6-8 inches under the slab. It come up really fast.
Mosley says what made this storm different was the speed of the rising river. Calhoun County Emergency Management Director Corey Silcox feeling optimistic about recovery.
Yesterday, our Chipola was predicted to go up to 32 foot. Today, it's expected to get down to up to 26 and fall out over the weekend. The flip side of that is the Apalachicola is expected to get up to 23 foot. That will slow down the drop in Chipola.
In Chipola River Park, levels going down slightly.
The springs west of here, yesterday the bridge was, the water was up to the bridge and they wouldn't let trucks go over it. Well, today, you can go through there. And so that shows that the water is going down.
Employees from the U.S. Geological Survey helping out the Tallahassee office traveling up from Tampa.
We come out and we measure the amount of flow and set that against the gauge height that we get, and it creates a rating over time. So at any given stage, they have a general idea how much water is flowing.
Despite the devastation, Mosley maintaining his sunny outlook, working on a shed at the highest point of the property.
Well, the river's got a lot of perks. This one just ain't one of them.
Calhoun County Emergency Management tells me they're asking residents to stay vigilant and keep their eyes on the river. Reporting live in Calhoun County, Monica Casey, WCTV Eyewitness News. Blake Bennett's friends and his professors say that they are in shock. They say he was a special person whose life ended far too soon.
Blake was a really special person, bigger than life.
Blake Bennett and Justin Williams, freshman year roommates at FSU.
We clicked instantly.
Bonding over their love of jazz music.
Long nights, early mornings, homework when we didn't want to, practicing things that we didn't want to practice.
FSU professor Scotty Barnhart watching Bennett's confidence grow.
Most fun part of our lessons working with him, to see his level of shyness just keep going down and down. Pretty soon he was comfortable.
He says in just 5 years, Bennett went from a beginner to a professional.
The true test of a good jazz musician is when everybody else wants to play with you. And that was Blake.
Blake not only pushed himself to be better, but he pushed every single musician and person around him just to be better.
Bennett killed on West Pensacola Street Tuesday night in a hit and run. Williams' message to the driver:
Be responsible. Take responsibility for your action.
Williams says fatal crashes in Tallahassee are becoming a trend.
Blake is gone, but a piece of Blake is gone from all of us.
Barnhart says he doesn't have children. If he did, he'd want them to be like Blake Bennett. He'll most remember the way Bennett made others feel.
To bring joy into other people's lives and to leave the world a better place than it was when you got here. And that's what he's done.
Now, this case is open and active. TPD says they're looking for a blue Ford Mustang that's missing its hood as a result of the crash. They're asking anyone with information to come forward. Reporting live at FSU, Monica Casey, WCTV Eyewitness News.